I'm Sonny Rollins. I was born in Brooklyn in 1930. I'm a saxophonist and somewhat of a composer. And I've been performing and recording since 1948 with such great musicians as the Modern Jazz Quartet and Miles Davis and Art Blakey. I've played and recorded with the great Charlie Parker and with Coleman Hawkins. Okay. Well, New York is about people living next to each other. And if you play an instrument, a musical instrument, you're going to have to be open to the fact that your neighbors might have to go to work while you want to practice. And that's always been a big, big problem for me. So anyway, I was living down on Grand Street in the Lower East Side, by the way, and the same situation was obtained. People in the apartment over me. And I had a problem because, as I said, I'm a very sensitive person. I don't like to bother other people. I don't like to cause any discomfort. And of course, that was basically the problem. So I happened to be walking in the neighborhood of Delancey Street. Anyway, I was walking, and I was sort of like walking towards the bridge that goes to Brooklyn. And I saw these steps leading up the bridge. And I just, I hadn't even thought about that. But I walked over and I walked up the steps. And there in front of me was this expanse of the bridge. Nobody up there in the middle of the day. So I said, okay, and walked across the bridge. I walked across the bridge. Nobody in any direction. There were trains coming across the bridge and automobile traffic, and below them was the river with the boats coming up and down the East River. And it occurred to me that this would be the perfect place for me to bring my horn and practice in perfect peace. I wouldn't be disturbing anybody, and I could blow as hard as I wanted, as long as I wanted. I'd taken a sabbatical, basically, at the time. So I would go up there day and night, and nobody would bother you. New York is a very cosmopolitan city. People are very sophisticated. They walk by, they see some guy playing a horn, they don't give a hoot, they just walk by. I'd be there. I took some friends up there at different times, and it was just a gift from heaven. And I stayed up on that bridge until being discovered up there by a jazz writer who happened to live in Brooklyn and was walking across the bridge. And he knew that I was on sabbatical and had disappeared from the scene. This was my intent until then. So he wrote this story. And then the news got out, oh, Sonny's on the bridge. And it turned into a very romantic story, which indeed it is. This lone musician practicing on the bridge under the New York skyline. And the boats going below, and sometimes I'd blow my horn at the boats, and they'd answer. It was a really magical experience. And eventually, though, I had to go back to work. But then I still went up there to practice. But man, that was a really high point in my life. I mean, I'm just eternally grateful for my whole career. I'm grateful that I'm paid to do what I love, to play saxophone. I'm grateful that I'm able to make a living and make some art. And by the way, I had a nook in that bridge where I couldn't be seen by the trains or the cars, so if they heard me, they couldn't see me. So it was just a perfectly private spot. And that's my bridge story.